Alright, Baylan Skoll is finally here. I just did the developer's insights. It's uploaded right before this one. Hopefully you checked it out. If not, quite honestly, you ain't missing out on too much, so no big deal. And anyways, you're here for the better video, the kit reveal. So, without further ado, let's get it. So to start, his basic is called That Was a Mistake. Of course, making him go up against stupid enemies like always. A random droid and then a probe droid. They never even fought those things in this show. And what's up with the stadium lights in the background? Anyways, kind of looks like a basic move. Final text, skipped 712 lines. Deal physical damage to target enemy if it is Baylan Skoll's turn. He recovers 5% health and protection. And all mercenary allies gain 5% turn meter and tenacity up for 1 turn. Otherwise, this attack deals 30% less damage and he taunts for 1 turn. So either way, I guess there's a bonus effect, whether it's his turn or not. If it is his turn, he gets a little tiny bit healthier, and Mercs gain a little tiny bit of turn meter and tenacity. If it's not his turn, and this is a bonus attack, then he deals 30% less damage, but he's taunting. And from what I learned in the developer's insights, I guess you want him taunting all the time, so I guess that's a good thing if he's taunting. Special 1. 1 must destroy. Cooldown 3. Smash, smash, smash. Okay, so he kind of looks like Kylo, just slow motion raging out with his lightsaber. Final text. Deal all debuffs on all mercenary allies and deal physical damage to target enemy 3 times. Stagger them, and then inflict defense down and offense down for 2 turns. Baylan Skoll taunts for 2 turns, and all mercenary allies gain offense up and potency up for 2 turns. Everything with the 2 turns there. 2 turns. But, not bad. It does offer quite a bit. And that's not even like a unique or anything. That's just a basic, well, not basic, but, you know, a regular move doing all these extra things. That's kind of cool. Special 2. Power, such as you've never dreamed. It's a Zeta, and it has an Omicron. Cooldown of 4. A little jump spin move there. Trying to get that extra power on hitting the probe droid. Final text. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Oh, that's supposed to be all? Looks like he's just hitting the 1. Dispel all buffs on them and stun them for 1 turn. Enemies who resist the stun lose 50% turn meter instead, which can't be evaded or resisted. So essentially, I wouldn't say you're essentially being stunned because you're losing half your turn meter, but you know, you're losing half your turn meter, so that's pretty significant. Whenever this ability is used, Baylan Skoll gains 5% tenacity, and if he has more than 40 stacks of Soldier of Fortune, all mercenary allies gain 20% offense, stacking for the rest of the battle. These effects persist through defeat. So that means if Baylan is killed, then the mercenary allies still have their 20% offense stacking and all that. That's good if that's your team. Probably a pain in the cock if you're going up against it. Now the Omicron. While in Grand Arenas, enemies who resist stun from this ability lose all their turn meter, which can't be resisted. So basically you are stunned because, say you're at like 90% turn meter, so it's just about your turn to go, boop, yeah, F you, you're not going now. Then he's also going to inflict armor shred on all enemies until the end of battle, and whenever this ability is used, all mercenary allies gain 10 speed, stacking max 100 until the end of the battle. And this effect persists through defeat. That one would make sense if it persists through defeat because that's an Omicron. So you want Omicrons to kind of be a little bit more beefy. Unique 1. Master and Apprentice. Zeta Omicron. Final text. If Shin Hati is an ally at the start of battle, which she should be, that doesn't make sense if she wasn't. I don't think she has much synergy with any other team, so that'd be really stupid if you didn't have her on a team with Baylan. But anyways, if she is, Baylan gains 5 stacks of Soldier of Fortune. If Marrok is an ally at the start of battle, Baylan gains another 5 stacks of Soldier of Fortune. While Baylan is active, he, Marrok, and Shin Hati gain 10% critical avoidance and 20% evasion. Whenever an enemy evades Baylan's attack, he gains 2% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter, and all mercenary allies recover 20% health and protection. At the start of his turn, Baylan recovers 3% health and protection, and he gains the following effects depending on his stacks of Soldier of Fortune. So up here it's saying that you want to have Marrok on your team as well. Marrok, at least I can see if you didn't have him on your team, because he's also an Inquisitor. So maybe you'd put him on an Inquisitor team. But the Shin one, you should have Shin on your team. If you don't, that's kind of stupid. Anyways, though, all those benefits for those three, that's kind of cool. I guess it's kind of a ripoff to the other characters, though, because it benefits those three. But what about the other two on your team? They're just like, well, I guess I'm not getting any extra boosts. And he recovers 3% health and protection at the start of his turn. Is that every turn? Because then the other thing I'm wondering is, he has one of his moves said that he gains 2% health or 5% health and protection. Remember, it's his basic. So does that mean he can recover up to 8% of each? It's still not a lot, but it's a little bit better than either A, just straight 3, or B, the 5%. Anyways, if he has 45 or more stacks while he is taunting, he reflects 45% of the damage dealt to him, which can't defeat enemies. If he has 50 plus stacks, whenever he attacks an enemy inflicted with Purge, he also exposes them for a turn. And if he has 55 or more stacks, whenever Baylan stuns an enemy, he reduces their speed by 10, stacking max 100 for the rest of the battle. I think they meant to put the on there, for the rest of battle. That doesn't really make sense. Wait a minute. Oh, this also has an Omicron. Okay, so then while... Wait, what? Oh, there it is. While in Grand Arenas. At the start of his turn, Baylan gains the following additional effects depending on how many stacks of fortune he has. 45 or more stacks. Whenever Baylan is damaged while taunting, he grants a random other mercenary ally speed up for one turn if they didn't already have it. 50 or more stacks. Whenever Baylan attacks an enemy inflicted with Purge, he also reduces their tenacity by 20%, maxing 100% until the end of battle. So he can make them be reduced by 100% tenacity, so they basically have no tenacity. Well, I guess if they had over tenacity, like, you know how you can have mods and you could have like 120% or whatever. So if it's reduced by 100, that doesn't mean all of it. It means they'd still have 20% tenacity, right? But I don't know if the computer has mods and stuff, so to speak. So, well, this is Grand Arena, so I guess you'd be going up against another real player. So never mind. Yeah, that would work. That you're not necessarily bringing him down to 0 tenacity. But then it also does say percent. So if you're reducing it by 100%, if they had 120 tenacity, then 100% would be 120. So I don't know. What does this mean? Anyways, 55 or more stacks. Whenever Baylan stuns an enemy, he also increases their cooldowns by 1. Which kind of already happens because they're stuns. They're missing a turn. But now their cooldowns basically are extended by 2 then, essentially. The other thing is, you gotta keep in mind, I'm pretty sure all these stacks. So if you're at 55 plus, you're getting the bonuses for 50 plus and 45 plus as well. So A, that's kind of cool. B, this is the portion of while in Grand Arena. So there's also the regular portion. So yeah, a lot of crap's going on. Not bad. Unique 2, Soldier of Fortune. I thought we already know all about this from someone else's kit. I don't know. Anyways, final text. At the start of battle, Baylan Skoll gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune for each relic amplifier level he has. Whenever Baylan Skoll taunts, a random mercenary ally gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. And if Baylan has 3 or more stacks, he loses 3 stacks of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Baylan is damaged while taunting, he gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. At the start of their turns, all mercenary allies gain 5% health steal stacking and 2% defense stacking for each stack of Soldier of Fortune they have until the start of the next turn. So it could vary. One turn it can be a little bit higher that you have those stacks, so you get more, but then the next turn it's less, so you get less, and that's weird. God. You know, it's getting cold out, so you got the heat on, and the air in here is just so dry. I need a humidifier. Anyways, his leader ability, it's all inevitable. Zeta and Omicron. So he's got 3 Omicrons like he's a Conquest character. He's not a Conquest character, though, so that kind of makes it a little bit weird that he has 3 Omicrons, but alright. Anyways, final text. At the start of battles, Baylan Skoll gains 30% offense and all mercenary allies gain 20% tenacity. And 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune for each active mercenary ally. Then, mercenary allies double their current stacks of Soldier of Fortune. So they basically start with 10, because if they get 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune for each active mercenary ally and you have a team of 5, they'd get 5 stacks, and then it says then they double it, so then they'd get 10? Whenever a mercenary ally gains a stack of ransom, all mercenary allies gain 1% defense stacking until the end of the encounter and recover 5% health and protection. Whenever a mercenary ally has health steal up, they gain 25% critical damage and protection up 50% until health steal up expires. Whenever a mercenary ally is dazed or stunned, they dispel it and all mercenary allies recover 25% health and protection. That's cool. So that happens and they're like, nah, F that, I'm not stunned or dazed. That doesn't affect me. And then everyone's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to get pretty healthy now. If there are no GLs, whenever a mercenary ally is inflicted with fear, all mercenary allies gain 50% bonus max health, protection, and offense stacking until the end of the encounter. And not only that, but they also recover 50% health and protection. So how does this work? Are those stacking? So like, there's no GLs. They get inflicted with fear. So now they're gaining 50% max health and max protection and offense. And then they're going to recover 50% health and protection. So are they recovering 50% of that new 50% more protection? Or are they gaining 50% of their just normal, regular base amount of protection? You know what I mean? Because if it goes by the 50% boost, then that means they're getting more recovery. Because 50% of a higher number, obviously, is going to be a higher number. And if that's the case, that's kind of cool. You got 2 mechanics that are almost like working together, you know? Anyways, then the last thing is they deal true damage to all enemies. Oh, all, that's cool. Which can't be evaded or used to defeat them. And you blind them for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. And you also inflict them with healing immunity for 1 turn, which, again, can't be evaded, dispelled, or resisted. Whenever a mercenary ally assists or attacks at a turn, they gain 2 stacks of Soldier of Fortune. The first time each other mercenary ally falls below 50% health, Baylan Skoll taunts for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Each time any falls below 50%. I mean, you want them to be taunting all the time, and if you're gonna wait for your enemies to be falling below 50%, that seems kind of steep. Seems kind of steep. 50%, they're like half dead, and then he's like, oh, whoops, by the way, hey, attack me. You'd think it would be like, anytime they fall below 75% health, not 50. Jeez. While he's taunting, Baylan has plus 50% defense, plus 30% tenacity, and retribution until taunt expires. That's a silly boost. He gets this nice big boost, but it's only while he's taunting. As soon as he's not taunting, then it's just like, yeah, that's all gone now. I don't need that extra defense and stuff. Now for the Omicron. We just read all this crap, and that's only for the base part of it. Now in the Omicron. While in Grand Arenas, at the start of the battle, Baylan taunts for 2 turns. Well, that's good. He taunts right out the gate. If there is a non-galactic legend Ahsoka enemy, mercenary allies ignore protection, are immune to critical hits and healing immunity, and they expose all enemies and inflict them with healing immunity for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted at the start of each of their turns. That's weird, though. You need to have an Ahsoka enemy. So that would be like a cat team, maybe a Jedi team that has Ahsoka, or a random rebel team that has Fulcrum. If there are no GL enemies, whenever Baylan taunts, he inflicts all enemies with doubt for 1 turn. Does that include his auto taunt right at the beginning of the battle? If Baylan is not taunting, whenever an enemy takes a bonus turn, they are inflicted with healing immunity for 3 turns, which can't be dispelled. Healing immunity for 3 turns. Wow. And it can't be dispelled. It's pretty crappy for them. Whenever an enemy gains foresight, then spell it and are inflicted with buff immunity for 2 turns instead. What? Jeez. I mean, I guess that's great for going up against, not like this is really a issue, but going up against something like a Qui-Gon-led team. Or a team that has like Yoda in it and he's just giving everyone foresight, then he dispels it like a buff immunity. It's a bit extreme. Whenever an enemy gains Inspire, reduce all enemies' evasion by 50%, stacking until the end of the encounter. And all mercenary allies gain 80% defense, stacking, and 50% bonus protection, stacking until the end of the encounter. Wait, the bonus protection can stack? Stack to what? Just forever? Defeated enemies can't be revived, and mercenary allies can't be instantly defeated. Bonus info. Bonus info? Okay. Baylan Skoll will not be required for GL Ahsoka. However, CT7567 Rex at Relic 7 will be. What? It's super random. Why are you telling us about that? That is super random. I mean, saying that he's not required for GL Ahsoka is pretty random, but okay, fine. Because people might ask that. But why are you telling us about this Rex? Is this the newer Rex? I mean, I don't care which one it is. It's just ridiculously random. Why are you telling us, oh, well, however, this character will be needed? Like, what? Okay. Or are they just saying that, like, hey, you don't have Baylan Skoll, but instead, you got this one you gotta worry about? I don't know. It's just so random. That makes no sense why they're throwing that in there. Anyways, defeated enemies can't be revived, and mercs can't be instantly defeated. That's pretty cool. So that means, like, Cat's nonsense wouldn't work. I guess disintegrate wouldn't work. Annihilate wouldn't work. Sometimes execute. That wouldn't work. I don't really know why. I don't know why mercs are basically mini GLs. But, hey. That's cool. Now it makes them a little bit more beefy. Hey, what's up, man? Trying to annihilate me. Oh, look, I'm still here. Anyways, there are some comments, but I feel like this was already pretty long, but I don't know. Let's just take a look at a couple of them. The power levels of these new kits is getting concerning. The curve has spiked, and it doesn't feel healthy for the game. These exclusive datacrons are also just ridiculous. Actually, they should give us some information on what the exclusive datacron is, because, you know what you're actually getting, or could be getting if you bought it on day one. Seriously, CGEA, R7 tunes, you can't even farm yet? That's pretty low even for you. This is how you lose fan-based players. It's already happening and will just get worse because you can't control your greed. Wait, so is this Rex not in the game yet? Wow. I do find that to be pretty annoying, though. They do like to do that. They have a lot of those already for the new Ahsoka, and they did that for Leia. When Leia came out, they made it so Drogon was a requirement, and Scout Trooper, and what were the other ones? It was a whole bunch of new characters that were just released in the game. They're like, oh, they need to be Relic 7s before you can unlock this GL. Yeah, this idiot. They've been doing it this way for years, pal. Get used to it. It's not something I have to get used to, though. You know, the world is full of pedos. Should we be getting used to that, too? No. You don't get used to it. It's something that you call out and you seek change for. Everyone was outraged, and yet everyone was here. Yeah, it's because, you know, they want to enjoy the game, but they get some bull crap like this thrown at them, and, you know, it's just frustrating. Also, R7 of all tunes required for today's characters is so boring. In the past, we got a variety of relic levels. Now, only R7s. Boring. I mean, I guess I see what you're saying. Because, like, before it was like, you know, this one at Relic 4, this one at Relic 7, this one at Relic 5, this one at Relic 3. Now it's like, this one at Relic 7, this one at Relic 7, this one at Relic 7, this one at Relic 7. But at the same time, that's what they like to do, is only R7, because it's a little bit higher. So if you're going to pay, that's obviously more money they can get. And if they do add any variety, it's just going to be nonsense. It's going to be 7, 8, and 9. So, you know what? I'd rather they just stop at Relic 7 instead of introducing Relic 8 and Relic 9 and all that dumb nonsense. In the past, some characters could only be farmed from random packs for crystals. What? From random packs? That's not correct at all. What are you talking about? I never bought a pack, and I'm not, like, behind on any older characters, so what in the world are you talking about? Too long, didn't read. I know. Their thing says that it's a 6-minute read, and it's like, that sounds short when you hear the 6 minutes. You're like, oh, that's not bad. But then when you really get into it, you're like, God, this is still going? And then if you got an idiot like me who's just trailing on and on and on, now all of a sudden the 6 minutes turns into half an hour, and it's like, oh my God. That's one thing I always think, because always, I like to make these videos, but then I'm like, what's the point? Nobody's going to listen to this when you can just go to the forums and read it yourself. But then I'm like, oh yeah, there's that. People don't want to read all this crap, or they don't have time to, or they don't think of it. So you would come here where I'm just reading it to you, and it's a lot easier to just listen to the media than have to actually physically consume it by reading it yourself. CT Rex at R7 required for GL Ahsoka. Where'd you see this information? What? It's at the very end of the kit. Awesome kit reveal, but it would have been really nice to get the next requirement set instead of a single tune tease for Glat. He's not a requirement, though, so that your thing's wrong. Something bad happening to the game when you need 2,494 symbols to describe only leader ability. Just compare SLKR leader description in this. Symbols? Do you mean characters? I mean, it was quite a long leader ability. That was ridiculous. It also has an omicron, but still, it was pretty long with everything that's going on with it. And it's kind of funny how beefy they can make that, considering Baylan Skoll has such a limited presence on the show. Like, there's not much to draw from. It's getting more and more common that one ability and a character... Wait, what? That one ability and a character is longer than the enemy team's full ability list. Okay, not sure what that means. What are the chances of remembering all this? Older characters are great because they're simple, clear, and effective. Here, it's practically a mini essay on how a character works and interacts. 80% of players will just end up thinking he does something, can't remember what. Yeah, that's true. I never really thought of that before, but back in the day, yeah, things were a lot easier. You know, character, like, Qui-Gon. I referenced Qui-Gon earlier. His kit used to be, you know, Jedi allies gain 25 speed and something else. You know, short and sweet though. And then the Zedix came out and it became, you know, they also gain foresight after they defeat an enemy or an enemy defeats them. Okay, pretty easy to remember. Now, yeah, this Baylan Skoll one, it's like, oh, well, under normal circumstances, this, and this happened. Also, this, and this happened. You're going to want to do this, so then this happens. Oh, and if you have the Omicron, then this, and this also happens. And it's like, geez, I can't remember, you know, the Bible. So, I do understand that one. Rip Ray 07. I don't know what the 07 is supposed to mean. I mean, he passed away. It wasn't in 2007, so... What? If there is a non-galactic legend, Ahsoka enemy. Yeah, it's so goofy and specific. What's also goofy is... Are they saying that those boosts would still occur if there was GL Ahsoka? It only... I mean, hold on. If there's a non... Yeah, so they don't work if there's a GL Ahsoka. Never mind. GLAT requirements, please. Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano. I think the 31st of October is kind of an inconvenient day to put this event. Can it be set for the last 2 days of its first cycle? I mean, October 31st is Halloween, and this year it's a Thursday, so it is mildly inconvenient, I suppose. But still. How long is a limited time? Probably a week. Oh, wait a minute. That's what this idiot said, too. Should be a week, if I remember correctly. I was trying to make a joke because, you know, they put these events on and then they don't come back for 6 months. So I was making a joke like a week. It's just a short amount of time. So they'd give you a week and then make you wait 5 months and 3 weeks. But then this person actually said week. Like it's the correct answer. Mercenary allies can't be instantly defeated. Does this mean that Baylan can't? I would imagine no, he is a mercenary. Like Enoch's leader ability. The wording is strange, but it's meant to include the leader as well. Allies meaning the entire allied squad, so Baylan can't be instantly defeated either. Yeah, that's what I just said. Anyways, yeah, Baylan Skoll kit reveal. For some reason, he seems to be kind of OP-ish and it just makes no sense, considering that A, I don't think he has any formal training by a Jedi or a Sith, so he's not really, shouldn't really be that decent, you know? And B, he's got a very minor role in the show. You don't even see him that much, so like, why would his leader ability be this beefy in all this? Why would he be immune to being instantly defeated? It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a cool mechanic, I guess, especially if he's your team, but kind of weird, doesn't make sense. But anyways, yeah, I guess it is what it is. So there it is, Baylan Skoll's kit reveal and community's thoughts on it. So thanks for checking this out with me, and until next time, I said see ya.